Hey everybody, Arioch here with you for another edition of Ex Libris. And today we're going to look at some amazing autographs. Now we're only going to look at the books that are autographed, not the autographed photos and programs and other items that I have that are autographed by people in all walks of life. We're just going to look at the books today, okay? Now, for those who are new to this, what we do is every week I take a look at something in my library. Okay, I have several different subjects in this huge library that I've assembled over my entire life. It's been a labor of love, and there's thousands of books in it, and the subjects are all over the place, mostly magic and magicians, because that's what I am, but also spiritualism and the occult and crime and biography and history, fiction. There's classics, there's stuff on theater, gambling, you name it, all kinds of different subjects. And what we'll do is sometimes we'll take just one volume and look at that, and other times we'll take several in a series or in one particular subject or one category, something like that, maybe just by one author or by one subject. And today we're going to look at autographed editions. So this is going to cover a lot of different subjects, everything from autobiography to magic to criminology to fiction. I have a lot of autographed items, thank goodness, but there's always more that I want. I mean, I don't have everybody. I need a Mark Twain, and I need a Houdini, and quite a few others, but who knows? That's the thrill of the hunt, right? Okay, so we're going to look at some autographed editions in my library. So stick around, because at the end of the videos, I'll show close-ups of different, items, so you can just freeze frame on whatever strikes your fancy or whatever you want to, take a better look at. So anyway, here we go. Oh, and by the way, please hit that like and subscribe button for me, because you guys are what makes all of this possible. Now, sometimes you're lucky enough to actually meet the author, purchase a book from them personally, and support them that way and get an autograph in person. And that happened to me at the Lock Show, a book about locks and the history of locks and all that. And one of the authors did sign it, and it's personalized to me. I always like getting my autographs personalized to me for two reasons. One, because I never want to sell it. It's mine, and you know what I mean? To me, it's a really important keepsake, as it were. And it really makes it more personal to me, of course. I keep using the word personally. But two, I also find that authors and other celebrities and whoever, they're more likely to sign something if they know you're not going to turn around and sell it on eBay. And non-personalized autographs are always the ones being sold, and they know that, you know what I mean? That's why they like it when you say make it out to so-and-so. But anyway, every time you have a chance to meet an author and get the signature, I strongly suggest you do so. Okay, this is a very cool one, and I got this one right after I saw the movie. This is The Gangs of New York. It's from 1928, Herbert Asbury. And inside, there's all kinds of writing. I'll show this up close later. Before and after the Civil War, collector's item. There's his name all over. I think that's his autograph. It also has a signature of, I think, a judge. Anyway, it's got all this cool writing in it as well. So this is one of my favorites. That's from my crime section. And this one I found at a book sale, and it's one of my favorite British comedians, Rob Brydon. And there we have the autograph to Sam. I don't know who Sam is, but now it's mine. And this was a really, really fun read. Rob Brydon, if you love British humor, and if you ever seen Would I Lie to You, he's the host, and he's just fantastic. He was also in the Barbie movie. But anyway, great book. Glad to have an autographed copy. And one of the magic books is this one about Murray. Murray was a famous escape artist, and his life is just fascinating. And I have a nice collection of items from and about him, including, his autographs, but not in a book. But this one is written by Val Andrews, and it's autographed to Ed Hill. I don't know who Ed Hill is, but I picked this up on online. And even if you don't know who it's made out to, it's still really cool to get the author's autograph. I still need a Houdini autograph in one of his books, so if anyone wants to send me one, feel free. And I really enjoy getting self-published or limited edition books autographed by, in this case, the editor, who is a wonderful guy. And we've shared many a story together and many a meal at lock conventions and get-togethers. Joe, there we are. As you can see, these are well-read, among my most treasured possessions right there, these handcuff annuals and these books written by my friends. Okay, this next section is all magic books, okay? Now, one of the first autograph books I ever bought was the Di Vernon Book of Magic. This is a fantastic book in its own right. I mean, I've used a lot of the routines and techniques in here, and it was written by the professor. And not only does it have his best wishes to Bob, sincerely, Di Vernon, it has the date, which is cool. And you can see what I paid for it back in the day. So that's really neat. And it also has the book plate. And the cool thing is, Shannon's Magic Studio was based in Philadelphia, where I grew up. So all in all, one of my favorites right here, especially because of the stuff inside. Now this one is a book about books. It's a reference guide for collecting items on Houdini, and I have an awful lot of the things that are listed in here, and I'm missing a lot too, but it's a neat little checklist. And it was autographed by the author, and he put the date of July 2015 right there. This is a reference book, and I flagged the certain parts that items that I'm looking up and that I still need. Now, this one was the first book I ever bought in New York City when I worked there. All right, it was by John Mulholland, whose library continues to this day. It's been passed on and purchased and repurchased. And he was a fantastic collector of magic and a great writer as well, and performer. And it's so cool because not only does it have a really nice dedication, he also drew a rabbit in a hat and the date of 1935. And oh man, I still remember to this day buying this book, how thrilling it was to open this up and see that. That was just amazing to me. So yeah, this is very treasured. I actually bought another copy, and that's my reading copy. So this one, has all the archival preservation materials on it. So there you go. Now this one is extra cool. It's Blackstone's Modern Card Tricks and Secrets of Magic. Okay, and I bought this up here. And look at that. Blackstone was famous for drawing this self-portrait of himself. And he did it right there in this book in 1946. on the 23rd of November. Hey, check that out. Yeah. So I love this. I have this on display in a cabinet most of the time. And I also have several copies of this that aren't autographed, so this one stays extra safe, shall we say. Here's one I'm very proud to own because it was autographed by the author to me. I met him at a speech he gave, a book reading. Oh, I met him at a lecture he gave at the Lancaster Historical Society. And afterwards, we spoke for quite a while, and I was able to give him some insights into Houdini that he was unaware of. So he said if he ever writes another book, he'll contact me, and there you go. So I really enjoy having this in the collection. This one's extra special because Penn and Teller were booked at MTV the same day I was. We were both appearing, but in different shows. And I knew they were coming, and I just happened to grab this on the way out the door and had them sign it. And yeah, they did it in their own unique way. So, and it's really cool because they signed it to me in the MTV green room. And that was back when they played music. Yeah, way back when. So that was pretty cool. And this is one of my favorites. So this is one that I will never part with. Here's another one, the Expanded Encyclopedia of Escapes. This was a book I searched for years because it was just unavailable before the internet. So finally got it, and I got to get the author to autograph a copy for me. So that was cool. An extra special one is this scholarly work by the late John Bushy, a dear friend. And, wow, I mean, we spent many an hour discussing old handcuffs and, just enjoying our hobby together. It was just amazing. He wrote a number of books, and the research this guy did was just breathtaking. I mean, it was unbelievable in scope. He looked up people's addresses from the 19th century and stuff. He just went way above and beyond in the scope of his research. So I'm glad to have a couple of books by him autographed to me. This little gem is very cool because it's not autographed by the author, but it's autographed by the editor of this edition, who John Henry Grossman, Dr. John Grossman, was legendary in the world of book collecting. So, and he wrote it to J. Marshall, a legend in magic history. So this is like a double whammy of coolness here. And it's about Houdini, and it's a great book. Originally published, I think, in the 30s. So love this one too. I was lucky enough to meet the amazing Randy, and he signed, at the time it was the only book of his that I had, but eventually I got more. But he did sign a poster for me at the same event too, so that was pretty cool. Backstage at a Kreskin show, I met him, and I brought the book along, and he signed that too. Especially yours, that's how he signed everything. So I got a Kreskin autograph. And, and I actually bought this book like a few weeks before I met him for like 25 cents, I think, at a flea market. So that was cool. This one's a little odd. It's a Christmas Carol, but it's not signed by Charles Dickens. I wish I had a Christmas Carol signed by Charles Dickens, but I have one signed by his grandson, Cedric Charles Dickens. So that's kind of cool. And he wrote a little note, I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. Keep smiling. So, hey, his grandfather wrote it, and he apparently was on some kind of book tour, and he was signing copies, and I bought this at an auction. So, okay, now I saved the best for last. Now, the shape of this book leaves something to be desired, but that's okay, and you'll see why in a minute. Now, a little backstory. When I bought this book, I had no idea what was inside and the treasures contained herein. I knew it was a rare book because of the condition, I didn't pay anything close to what these things are going for in mint condition. Now, this is the Encyclopedia of Stage Illusions by Burling Hull, okay? I'm going to be kind of careful with it. And I'm going to show this close up at the end. Now, as magic collectors know, it's rare because it was limited to 500 copies, okay? And it is exactly what it says in Encyclopedia of Stage Illusions. Okay, that's not his actual signature there, which is okay, because, well, I was going through this thing, I noticed that a previous owner must have been at a magic convention, and yeah, there's Doug Henning's autograph on the Doug Henning page. And I went a little further. There's Bev's. There's Dick Zimmerman and Diane Zimmerman. There was Copperfield. So I had no idea that these other autographs were in here. How cool is that? So this is an extra special edition. I mean, even though it wasn't autographed by the author, I do have his autograph on other items, but I mean, to buy a book and to find autographs of famous magicians in there was just way cool.